Timestamp. It is February 2nd, 2026. Almost 6:30 a.m. And it is cold in here. I've been up for about an hour. Did my dailies on my video games. Doing the whole laundry dishes thing, Woke up to the Hand of Fear, which if I say it, that sounds dramatic. That's a Doctor Who episode. Let's see, it is 31 degrees outside, and I'm right by a glass door, basically, so I'm running around doing laundry and stuff. Another one of my shirts that I got everybody for Halloween. So, reading rainbow shirts. I'd forgotten that I had this thing. I'm actually going to put it on. I'm sitting here not doing anything. I'm realizing that I forgot I had this thing. It was in the closet in the bathroom, which is, my dresser. Very strange lifestyle. I need to see about getting more of these. Because I love my hoodie. The Daredevil hoodie that I got. But it's kind of bulky in the respect that it feels like I'm wearing leather armor. Which, despite all the fantasy of fantasy gaming, it's actually hard to be incredibly graceful in, thick armor. If you know, you know. You're not waltzing in plate mail. Little touch of home there. Had this thing 20 years, maybe more. Got it at the Funland Flea Market for $5. Guy had just about every hockey team and football team you could come up with. And I saw that he had the Penguins. I was like, and I think that might have been about 30 years ago. Taking pretty good care of it. In Florida, I don't have a whole lot of use for it. But there are those days, or especially more often in the past, there were those days. These days, not as much. We've talked about this. Because, you've got 3 days a year instead of 3 months a year where you actually need to bundle up a little bit. My back is very angry with me. Because I've been bending, stooping, lifting. It's not just the emphysema. Still a little congested from wake up. Otherwise, I feel pretty good. Lower back, angry. I feel pretty good. A little bit of anxiety hanging out in the back of my brain. Because I still feel like I'm going to be getting a phone call regarding my dad. I can't shake that. I will stop having that feeling until I get that phone call. And then I'll be off to a whole new direction of emotions, There's no fix for that. The fix for that is the final call, which is a fix for that, but opens up new door of, oh my God, both my parents are dead kind of thing. Just keeping it real. Speaking of keeping it real, not AI. I know it's hard to believe. This kind of perfection, how can that not be computer achieved? I know. It's not easy. It's not easy. Found a vendor through Walmart that has the vanilla creme brulee Harry and David 6-packs. It's currently like $56, so I'm probably going to order one of those. Because Dollar Tree just does not seem to be carrying them anymore, which makes me very sad. Because they were getting in the 4-ounce bags for like, a buck and a quarter, and now probably $1.75 or $2. Not sure where they are. I know they were doing another price hike. Which still, because normally you'll pay for, I need to refill. We're going to talk math while I go over there, because now I'm doing the math. Pondering. Alright, so, a normal-ish bag, like the milk chocolate peanut butter. I'm still not a paid sponsor. I'm open to it. I don't have the viewership for it. I know that. So what I would consider a normal bag of coffee, that's 12 ounces. So they had 4-ounce bags. And I've still got some up here, I think, of other flavors. Yeah. Because Dollar Tree was getting these in, especially around Christmas time. Little 4-ounce. It's different kind of, it's not the more papery, it's more a waxy plastic kind of coat. Butterscotch caramel, they got in those. They got in some of the milk chocolate ones, the vanilla creme brulee, the breakfast blend. So you could like assemble like a coffee gift basket. Did a couple of those a few years ago. Pretty cool. Because it's a little bit more than a coffee sampler for if you've got a coffee fan in your life. And they usually have cool coffee mugs. You can make like a neat little, and you can kind of pick the size of your gift basket. But you figure one of these 4 ounces, buck and a quarter. Normally a 12-ounce bag is going to cost you $10. 8 if you're really lucky and thrifty. 12 to 16 if you're being extorted. So if you're paying $4 or $5 for 3 4-ounce bags, that's a lot better than, because 3 times 4 is 12. If you're following along. And that's what I was doing. I was getting a whole bunch of the vanilla cream brulee and the breakfast blend with the 4-ounce bags, and just using containers that I also bought at Dollar Tree. Cut off the piece there, tape it on the front so it's labeled. And I know what it is. It's breakfast blend. I'm a very simple man. But it works really well, Because that's one disadvantage of those little plastic bags that they have at Dollar Tree, if they even carry them anymore, and I'm still not sure. They don't really reseal well. Once they're open, they're kind of open. You could use a rubber band or maybe a chip clip or something, but material-wise, they're not real cooperative. So I figured the plastic container was a good way to go. And you can usually fit 2 or 3 in one of those things. So pick up 2 of those, fill the container, and you're good to go for a while. And because I was able to find more, because I haven't ordered them yet, just finally finding a vendor that had them made me happy. Went ahead and made a pot of the vanilla creme brulee with what I have left. Probably got another pot or 2 worth in the container. I mean, I've got other vanilla coffees too, but I really do like the Harry and David. The Dunkin' Donuts is really good though. Okay, yeah, it's starting to take a little bit of the oh my god it's cold edge off. Taking a break in between to do my daily entry and say hi to you. I'm gonna, exactly. painting while I'm hanging out. So got the orange tabletop, which came out pretty good. It's very fancy. I'm not trying to get like super detailed or anything like that. Just something with my rudimentary supplies to pass the time and make for a cool set. Because I've got it primed. Trying to figure out how to make this work a little bit more smoothly. But yeah, I woke up to Hand of Fear, which is Tom Baker, Sarah Jane Smith. Good episode. Eldrad must live. It's pretty blue. Very pretty blue. Kind of sapphire meets midnight kind of thing. I'm gonna attempt to make some phone calls now that we're coming into Monday morning. The rest of the world is most likely sleeping currently though, so that's pointless. And I'm going to do some exploring in the alcove in the workshop. Still looking for the pocket watches that my dad hid and or some of the important paperwork. I've got some government agencies that are asking me for documentation on things. And I know the documentation exists because there's no way that it wouldn't, because, you know, like automobile deeds or, you know, ownership, what have you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they have them. They own the vehicles. I don't know what my dad did with them. I can probably request duplicates, but then I've got to do the whole, yes, I'm his guardian, I'm allowed to ask for this shenanigans, and I'd much rather just find the originals, because I know they gotta be here. No, don't be all doom and gloom. I don't think my dad would have burned them. I think that would be, I can't imagine him doing that. I mean, he's a car guy, he's always been a car guy, he wouldn't destroy the documents. You know, to make sure that no one else gets them, I'm going to incinerate them. I can't imagine him going that far with it. Despite the dementia, I don't see that. God, I hope not. Because at that point, I'm chasing ghosts. No, he's got to have some kind of cachet, some kind of hidden location that we just haven't found yet. You know, and the pocket watches, they're not like valuable, they are antiques, but they're not like, you know, $100,000 pocket watches. They're probably worth a couple hundred each, something like that, nothing crazy. But he was adamant about, because he has two, he was adamant about his two youngest grandkids getting them. I'm trying to honor their promises. That being my mom and dad. And with the paranoia and the cognitive decline, they've made it very difficult for me to do their job for them. Weird set of circumstances I find myself in. Nothing I ever imagined. No, I take that back. over the past 3 years, I definitely imagined something like this might take place. And I begged my mom to let me help so that it didn't happen. And I was, on occasion, yelled at and or, on the nicer occasions, reassured that they had everything under control. And I guess to a degree that's true. And they decided at some point that my wife and I were stealing from them because of the cognitive decline and the paranoia. And they had everything under control, all right. And they screwed everything up for everyone. Apparently, my story, while sad, is not necessarily unusual. Through all this, I've talked to a lot of people, even some friends that I had before all this began that were like, oh yeah, I went through something similar with my aunt, or my gran was that way. Met one guy through the course of all this, worked with him at the tree, and apparently his gran went through this kind of thing, because it's different, every time. She apparently would cash her check, I'm assuming pension, welfare, something like that. She would take the cash, put it in the oven, incinerate the money, not remember doing it, and then insist that someone had stolen her cash. And they'd find bits of burned up money in the oven. So the two of us had a good laugh about that, and there was, I think, what's called some commiserating. But it is stories like that that make me say to myself, oh God, I hope he didn't burn them in the burn barrel out back. Because that kind of tale makes me think, okay, maybe somebody with, moderate advanced dementia could do something that incredibly cray-cray. This is my first time dealing with family members that have gone insane. And I know there's some people like, he's not insane, he's sick. Yes, and also, well, I hear what you're saying. Some of his actions are downright cray-cray. You can soft label it all you want. But it doesn't change one cray. Doesn't. And the things that I have witnessed him do, both live and in person, and the after effects of, in some cases, just finding things around the house and asking myself, what did you have in mind exactly? Like this water balloon fetish, I don't get it. Exactly, on several occasions, we've found, I think like on 8 different occasions, a shopping bag, and I mentioned this I think once before, a shopping bag, like a Walmart bag, Publix bag, what have you, with inflated water balloons, i.e. balloons full of water, tied off. Sometimes they're still valid. Sometimes they have popped and we find a bag with two broken balloons and just kind of a slimy water that's been sitting there developing algae and stuff. 8 or whatnot times around the house, in the workshop. What are you doing? Really, what are you... You know when you catch your kid like shoving Play-Doh up their nose, and you look at them earnestly wanting to understand and say, what are you doing? You know, like that. I don't know. Okay. If anybody out there has had a parental or whatnot with dementia and has also experienced this water balloon phenomenon, let me know. To me it is, and I think probably to anyone, it is so odd. Pam, I can't even, I don't know why. If any egghead out there has any insight on it, that'd be swell. Curious if anybody else has experienced it. Very strange, and I am confused by it. I'm not easily confused. I'm usually pretty sharp, but that one, I don't get it. Yeah, I think I figured out a couple ways to solve some issues here and there as far as like space management. It's still going to be a slow process. There's no avoiding that. The amount of crazy hoarding and whatnot cannot be overstated. And again, I had another friend a couple days ago that was like, you just need to hire a company to come and grab everything and just haul it away. And it's like, that sounds great, but we don't know what all my dad has hidden. And I'm not saying that we're looking for it, but for all we know, there could be a stack of cash somewhere in the debris, you know, that didn't make it to the oven. We don't even know. Because there were some money shenanigans that happened like a few years ago. So we don't know. We don't know. Did my mom invest in Bitcoin and that knowledge is gone forever because the passkey or whatever died with her? I don't know. No idea. No idea. Who can say, really? Is my dad's gun collection still hidden somewhere here? Or did he give it to Chuck the Wonder Idiot? And when he died, which still kind of, that's the death that's freaked me out the most in that respect, just because it's a plot twist I didn't see coming. My mom dying, that was going to happen. It was going to happen. Because here's the thing. When you have COPD, a heart condition, you're renal stage 4, and you're a diabetic who is overweight, and you're not exercising or managing your diet, what do you think the end result's going to be? You know what I mean? How do you see this playing out? So, quite honestly, my wife and I are both surprised she lived as long as she did. Not trying to sound crass, but kind of a duh. Of the past, the last 2 years of her life, she spent over half of that time in the hospital. That's death. How did Anya put it? Like a hyperactive Girl Scout trying to make quota? Yes, a Buffy reference. I'm sure I got the line wrong, but I remember laughing my ass off. I was talking about how the whole group seemed to be like suicide mission, like knocking on death's door, like a panicking Girl Scout trying to make quota or something like that. I don't know, it's funny. Yeah, my dad's got a heart condition, COPD, plus the dementia. He's having balance issues, digestive issues, speech issues, judgment issues. Don't even get me started there. Oh wait, I already did. The guy did not see. I still don't know what the cause of death was for Chuck. I don't know. A very couple of online nondescript blurbs. Funeral service, blah blah blah. Found out about it like 2 months after he died. I wondered why he hadn't called me back. Well, that would do it. But yeah, I think my dad gave Chuck his gun collection. I think. But it still could be hidden here. I don't know. I think he gave Chuck his gun collection because the state of Florida was basically saying, hey, you have dementia. You're seeing people that aren't there, and you're sitting on an arsenal. We're beginning to think that maybe your son and your daughter-in-law might have a point here. And I know we don't have, like, the red flag laws and stuff like that in Florida, but from a psychology standpoint, you're experiencing extreme paranoia, delusions, and you're hallucinating. Because this is pretty much DCF basically saying, yeah, maybe not the guns. Maybe the guns are a bridge too far. Or a bell tower too far. So I am kind of wondering if he gave it to Chuck to hang on to until the coast was clear. And then Mom died, we got Dad into a home, which, boy, did we get lucky on that. And I think Chuck died with the guns in his possession. Chuck's family came in and said, wow, where did he get all these guns? I don't know, they're ours now. And they're gone. That's what I think. And then again, my dad may have buried them in the backyard. With that idea of, search all you want, I got rid of them. Just don't look in the basement. It's Florida, we don't have basements. Well, I mean, according to my dad, the facility he's at has a basement and a third floor, which is where the cool stuff happens. For the record, it's a 2-story facility. There's no third floor and there's no basement. Unless there's something very sinister going on there. Which, there's not. Even with this, my hands are still cold. Oof. If you don't wash out the brush, you're going to pay for it later. Or you're going to pay for a new brush. One of those lessons that after you're taught it the third time, that's why Al Gore invented denim. Alright. Oof. Probably in the 40s in here. Oh yeah, I don't think I showed you this. It's one of my, because I got in some like holiday Looney Tunes bugs. This, ooh, wet hand, almost slipped. This is Warner Brothers store, 1994. So it has a little thing on the back. I'm not going to try and do a Bugs Bunny voice because I don't do a Bugs Bunny voice. I sprang from my bed and oh what a shock, down the chimney came Santa saying, what's up, Doc? There are other characters that I do, but I never been able to do a Bugs. I want to work on it. Which brings me to something painful. I'm a Muppets fan. Like, fanatic fan. Like, Muppets. As well as Looney Tunes, obviously. And I saw that they're bringing the Muppet Show back. Like, looks like they're doing kind of the original format, which I think is a much better idea than the Muppet Show, the Muppets, that they did a couple years ago, which was good, but I think they were trying to go like The Office with it, and it just don't do that. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, check it out. I'm thrilled and terrified. Does Kermit have a frog in his throat? Because I hear in color, but I feel like the voicer for Kermit is awful. Everybody else is right on it or close to it. You know, Piggy is not the Frank Oz Piggy. Fozzie, not quite. Oi! You guys. But Kermit, oh my God. And if you don't want to work with Steve Whitmire, okay, great. Please find somebody else. It's not too late to revoice that. I'm sure you've got it on a track to where you could dub it. Please, dear God in heaven. I mean, my Kermit is, why are there so many? You know, I mean, I can do a little bit. I don't know if I could sustain it for that, but what I can do sounds better than what I was hearing. What I was hearing made me sad. Children will weep. So I have my concerns there. And I realize that our voices change over time. But I don't know after all this time if I can get used to a new Kermit voice that sounds like that. I mean, it doesn't sound like Harvey, it's not like, oh, Piggy, I'm so thrilled that you're here. Oh my God. Let's get a coffee. You know. It's not like really crazy, but you know when you're at a party and some of y'all are going to think, oh, you're talking from personal experience. But when you're at a party and someone thinks they're funny and they're really, really not, this is kind of the way that voice is coming off. It's like the voicer thinks they sound like Kermit, and everybody else in the room knows that, no, you don't. You don't sound, no. Stop doing the impression because it's really bad. You know? Just don't. Please stop. It's one of those, to me. Tell me if I'm crazy. Oh my God, that's good. But there's a couple of trailers on the Tube of You. You can check it out. And I got all excited. I'm still excited, but I can't get past that. Oh my God, I can't get past that. No. But I'm going to get to my list. I did my painting break, made my entry, health check. I feel okay. A little congested still from waking up and freezing my arse off to a degree. But I'll be getting active and moving around, so I won't notice that as much. I hope. Because it's probably 40 degrees in here. Maybe 45. Maybe it's warmed up a little bit. First world problems. Alright. Hug your parents. Hug your kids. Make sure you can actually do the voice before you try and amaze your friends. And make it a great day.